Day 4 is all about getting clear. Now, if you haven't watched day 1, 2, and 3, please go back. I will be saying this in all the videos, even though I have one video left. You will be hearing it. And the main reason I'm doing this is to make sure that you're not skipping a step. If you skip a step and then at the end of the 5 days, you're like, I didn't find my purpose, I'm not sure what to do next, it's because you didn't do this fully. Please play full out, do your soul work before you listen to the next day. Okay? Very, very important. Okay. So today is all about getting clear. Day 3, I had you do a future self meditation. That is super important for listening to day 4 today, because today we're going to go deeper into that. And today we're really getting clear on, you know who you are, you know your future self, and now we want to get you to be your future self faster than 20 years from now, right? And we also want you to get to know your future self in a very high level. So in total, and like another thing that I teach on average is something called the inner critic and the inner coach. The inner coach on average can also be your future self. Let me explain. So we have these two voices in our head. One gives us some type of judgment towards us, really brings us down at times, critiques us, screams at us, tells us we're doing things wrong. Oopsie, I hit the mic again. I keep doing that. It's a new mic. I'm sorry. And all these things. And then we have this inner coach or future self version of us that really speaks highly of us, says that we're going to be able to do it, really focuses on curiosity and compassion and all this jazz. And I'm going to be talking more about the inner critic and the inner coach of the future, but I'm just giving you a teeny weeny bit about it. And really the focus here is when it comes to the future self, people don't have to just call her in this meditation that we did last time. You can call your future self down whenever you want. Cool, huh? So we're going to really focus on that and really honing in on her and that inner coach or future self voice of yours, whatever you decided to name her. And that's what your inner coach is going to be called. So now you can actually be like, who's speaking in my head right now? Is it that inner critic? Or is it, for me, it would be Joy, and that's my future self's name, right? So is the inner critic talking or is Joy talking right now? Definitely the inner critic. Okay, let me go do the opposite of what it's telling me to do, right? Or maybe if it's being fearful about something and being like, don't get on the Facebook Live, then really focusing on, okay, why is my inner critic saying that? What's going on? And trying to be curious and compassionate towards it, like they're there, like kind of what you would with a child, right? A lot of times we're a lot harder on ourselves than we would be with anyone else. And that sucks. But hopefully we're working on changing that. So we're focusing on being more of your future self version, which is the version that you truly want to be and focus on, and this is your true you, right? So finding your purpose is really remembering who you are, remembering who you want to be, and really becoming that person and realizing that life is a journey. You may not get there consistently, but as long as you're doing what you feel like your future self would be doing and is moving towards, you're on the right direction. Make sense? So for this action step, our focus is going to be that your future self is going to write your current self a letter. Explain. Okay, I got you. So the best way that I can explain it is kind of like if you have an aunt or a mom or someone that really loves you, right? And it's kind of like receiving a letter from them saying how much they love you. Okay? So your future self loves you dearly and they want the best for you, just like that important person in your life. So if it helps, you can definitely try writing a letter as like, your mom or your aunt or whoever else really loves you and trying to write that way. But the reason I want you to focus on your future self is because when you become your future self, when you can listen to your future self and you're training yourself by journaling as her towards your current self, you're going to be able to get in tune with her more. Okay? So this letter, there's a couple questions so that you can go through. You don't have to write them all. The idea is just to kind of help you flow. And if you need to do the future self meditation, you're like, I am not going to be able to get into my future self right now. I'm just like, I'm all over the place. I'm freaking out. I'm totally my inner critic. Like, at least I'm aware of it now. But oh my God, Jazz, and you're freaking out on me. Stop. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale. It's all going to be okay. You can re-listen to the future self meditation if you want to. And after you listen to it, pause it before we get back on that whole river where we start going back in time to where you are now. Pause it before that happens. Stay with your future self and have her kind of take over you and write for you. Okay? And write to yourself. So Joy, my future self, is going to be writing a letter to Jaslyn. Joy to Jaslyn. Okay? So, and if you guys want, I will show you what she wrote to me the first time because it was awesome and I still have it and I love her dearly for it. And really, this practice may sound a little weird to you and you're like, how am I going to pull this off? Just try it, right? You guys know that I'm messy and that I'm all about just starting. Start. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay? And when you really get into this and when you finally stop telling your inner critic to shush, and you start really practicing it and trying to journal her out, you're gonna be able to listen to her more. When you get into it, I actually wrote over like 2 or 3 pages that Joy wrote to Jaslyn, and it ended up just flowing out of me. It was beautiful. I started crying, and I still cry when I read it, and I get to calm her back down. And now I can ask her questions whenever I want. If I'm lost about something, or I'm like, Joy, what do I do? I can journal it out, knowing that it's her speaking through me. Okay. For my spiritual woo-woo girls, the idea of your future self is similar to talking to your higher self or talking to a higher being in general. Make sense? So your future self is really that higher spirit or higher self that knows the answer, is very wise, already has seen through all of this, etc., etc. Okay, so these questions, which of course you can see in the action step, but I'll mention it to you, are: what are the qualities you see in your current self? What is your current self like? What is one word that describes your current self? What inspires them? Let me change that D to an F really quickly. What is their purpose? And what words of wisdom do you have for them? Okay, so this is Joy speaking to Jaslyn, my future self speaking to my current self. And when you start writing these down, don't freak out because I just told you, like, oh my God, there's a question on what is your purpose? Like, how am I supposed to answer that? Or what is your current self like? Well, what if she says bad things about me? She's not the inner critic. She is that beautiful voice that loves you dearly and is just like that person that loves you dearly in your life. Okay? So that's the idea. And if you haven't noticed, finding your purpose has to do a lot with self-love, right? And or should I say future self-love? Okay. So I love you guys dearly, and tomorrow is our last day in Finding Your Purpose Challenge.